Welcome to Be Quick with Mick, the contingent workforce interview / game show where we'll get to know our guests on a more personal level because we're more than just contingent workforce experts. We are real people. I'm your host, Mickey Pelletier. Before I begin, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Curately AI, an all-in-one direct sourcing platform designed to help you hire smarter, faster, and cheaper. All right, guests, why don't you tell us about yourself? Who are you and what would you say you do?
Hey folks, my name is Casey Williams. I sit out of Denver, Colorado. I am currently serving as the program manager for Western Union's global contingent workforce.
Casey, I'm excited to have you here, so let's get personal. Question number one, if you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
I love this question. I've thought about it quite a bit, but if I had one superpower, it would be the ability to speak any language. I think the option to speak to anybody like in their native tongue is just super cool, being able to like just throw that out. Or if it's not all languages, the ability to speak to any living thing. So like have a conversation with my cat, for example. That'd be pretty cool.
Talking to animals, talking any languages. Yeah, I think that ability to communicate with anyone, anywhere, at any time. Pretty powerful superpower indeed. All right, next question. What's something you do that instantly lifts your mood?
Well, spoiler, based on my background, it's definitely going to be a bike ride. I think anytime on two wheels is a good time. You know, you could be clearing your mind, or it's just fun just to be out there using your body to move around. So a bike ride will always lift my spirits.
Yeah, like you said, good way to clear your mind and gets you out and about. So I like that. Next question. If you had to eat one type of cuisine for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Indian food, without a doubt. You know, get me some tofu tikka masala. I could do that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's actually kind of funny. I found it in my college years, and I would save up my money so I could try and get Indian food at least once a day if possible. That was my highest expenditure back in school.
The Indian food budget. All right, next question. What is the best road trip that you've ever taken?
I would have to say Brooklyn, New York to Colorado or Loveland, Colorado. It was in the middle of the COVID pandemic. We were tired of living in a 500 square foot like shoebox apartment. I was looking at my wife and I said, you know, I think it's time to trade these skyscrapers for mountains. Packed all of our stuff into a U-Haul, had our cat in the middle seat, and we drove across the country. And being out in Colorado has been the best thing that's ever happened.
That's awesome. Yeah, what a transition going from the city to the mountains. That's really awesome. I appreciate you sharing
Of
that.
course.
But now it is time to mix it up with our book of truth. Casey, can you pick a number between 1 and 600 for a random question?
I'm thinking let's do 240.
240. What's your least favorite thing to do and why?
Oh, no. Least favorite thing to do and why? Driving. Driving. I think driving is my least favorite thing to do. I pride myself on being relaxed and chill and, you know, I can center my emotions and whatnot, but get me in a car, you get me during rush hour, and a new person comes out that I'm not used to seeing. A little bit of a madman, to say the least.
That's interesting. The older I get, the less I like dealing with traffic and parking lots and
hmm
where am I going to
Where
park
am I
and
gonna
all that
park,
stuff.
man? That is it. That's the question.
We're getting old, I guess. It's like a progressive commercial. But anyways, we got to move on. Now it's time for our challenge round. All right, Casey, here are your options of challenges. Pick one. I'll explain the rules. The yes, no opinion gauntlet, word association, never have I ever, finish the sentence, or would you rather.
All right, let's do yes, no.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you questions about the contingent workforce space with yes, no opinion answers. You give your one word, yes or no opinion, and there is no right or wrong answer, but also no chance to explain your answer. And yes, there may be loaded questions. We'll get through as many as we can here in 60 seconds. All right, let's begin. Can contingent workers be just as productive as full-time employees?
Absolutely.
Is managing a contingent workforce program more complex than managing an employee talent acquisition program?
Yes.
Do contingent workers typically experience a faster engagement process than full-time employees?
Yes.
Is the main reason companies primarily use contingent workforce strategies to save costs?
No.
Do you believe contingent workers will soon make up the majority of the workforce?
Absolutely.
Last one here. Are gig economy platforms the best source for top contingent talent?
Yes.
AC, I know this is not always easy. That's a tough game, but that was a lot of fun. I want to thank you for taking the time to come onto the show today, and thank you all the listeners for tuning in today. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks all.